You know, there was a day and age where loyalty and security for a woman was a mutual exchange. If he gave you security, you would then give him loyalty. Well, those days are over. And I don't care what days are on, off, over, still in progress. At no point in time should you, as a woman, be making a man a priority who's treating you or keeping you as an option. I'm not talking as your guru or expert. I got everything figured out, but I'm telling you as your big brother. There's no reason why you should be investing in a man, putting him on any type of pedestal, giving the best of yourself to this man, and he's so infatuated with his options, he can't even appreciate his choice. As a woman, you have no business keeping that man as the priority that he should not be because he's not treating you and keeping you as the priority. And let me be very clear. Sometimes you could be the priority and you're still not the sole selection. If you know that's what you want, if you know that's what your heart is wanting and desiring, and the only thing that can truly fulfill you at this point in your life, you do not need to be dealing with a guy who has you as his number one option because the number one option is still an option. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. Again, the days are over where, as a woman, you gave a man loyalty in exchange for his security. I'm not just talking about financial, but yes, financial, emotional. There are guys out here who will happily waste your time if you keep giving it to them to waste. There are guys out here who have no problem that will sleep peacefully at night, wasting your time, wasting the best years of your life, wasting your fertile years, wasting your mental health, wasting your opportunities that you could have been focusing on because you're dealing with him in a relationship. There are guys out here who will do that with a clear conscience and have no problem doing it. Of course, that's not all men. There are men out here, because there's no point in me telling you, watch out for these guys if there's not an alternative for you to get in position for you to prepare yourself for you to believe in. There's no point. So do not mistake what I'm telling you as all men are on these games. All men are just immature. No, there are men out here who, even if they have at some point in their past, like myself, again, I'm not perfect, but they've either paid the consequences already, they've done the work already, and they're at this point where, you know what, if I got a good woman in my presence, I'm not going to play with that because I know she is instrumental for me to get to my purpose. There are men out here who will see you and not want to waste your time. They're tired of the games just the same way that you are. There are men who have evolved past that part of their life where they have no structure, no priority, no discipline, and no honor in which they move in. So don't get it twisted. I'm saying that to go back to the point of, at no point should you be out here knowingly or even unknowingly giving the best of yourself to somebody who's giving you crumbs. And the only reason why you're going to do that unknowingly is because you don't know when a man is keeping you as an option. But I want to speak to a crowd right now because some of y'all are more on the naive end. You're younger, you're 25 years old, something like that, 20 years old. Some of y'all listening to me a little bit younger. And then some of y'all have a bit of experience with this. So for those of you who have any experience, put I down in the chat. If you've ever given your best to a man, just continue to love on him and just open up everything that you had to offer to a man, just to realize in the end, he only saw you as an option. Put I down in the chat. If you could just be real with me. There's some women out here who don't know that this exists. They just think they're so different. Not me. I'm this. My vagina is this good. I cook this good. I look this good. They just think they're so special. Nothing about you is so special that it's going to override the trash character of a man. If that's what he has. Put I down in the chat if you're okay. So I got some people willing to keep it real with me. And the rest of y'all who are listening, word to the wise. Now, what I hear a lot of, like, I had this conversation with a young lady, matter of fact, after my last masterclass. By the way, I just posted the link to it. After my last masterclass, I give an opportunity to join my inner circle. And one of the young ladies in my inner circle, she had this question. I hear it all the time. D, why don't they just go and play with these women that want to play those games? Why do they want to come and manipulate and try us who want something real? Why do temporary men keep coming into our lives, wasting our time when there's so many women who are willing to give them what they want, whether it's sex or whatever, situationships? Why? I'm going to tell you why. And I've never heard anybody else talk on this. And I don't know why, because it's not new information. But most men who are playing these games, who want to waste the best years of your life, they don't want to go to the women who are on the same page as them because honestly, their ego can't handle half of what they put your heart through. Their ego can't handle it. What I mean is this. That man, he would love to go and just have easy access to a woman, but she gonna keep easy access to other men as well. His ego can't handle it. 2, I need y'all to understand something. Yes, I think the best of everybody, men and women. I do not believe that every woman is a queen. I've seen too much scandalous stuff. I've seen women who are in agreement with being scandalous, trifling, untrustworthy, beggars. I've seen that. And I've also seen women who bust their behind for everything that they get. I've seen women who would never snake somebody, especially a woman that they call friend, and keep being all up in her face. I've seen those types of women. I've seen those type of women that make something happen out of nothing. If they got kids, they put themselves last to make sure their kids got, and their kids never go hungry. I've seen those types of women. Y'all are not cut from the same cloth as those women that give everybody access to themselves. It's not because they can't be any better. Those women who are for everybody, it's not that they can't be any better, but the fact that they're giving any and everybody access to them has caused their soul to get marked up. All these different soul ties, all this mishandling, all this irresponsibility over their spirit, over their energy. And when a man comes into their presence, whether he's good, bad, or ugly, he can sense that. So when he comes across you, and you've been reserving access, you've been working on yourself, you've been putting in the time, you've been setting the boundaries. He comes across you and it's like, wow, this is what I want to experience. Unfortunately, there are some men who are bottom tier character who don't say, let me rise to the occasion so I can reciprocate that. Instead, here comes the manipulation. Okay, that's the reason why a lot of guys don't want to go play the game with those who are playing the game as well. You're not cut from that cloth. You feel better. You're a better experience. They benefit more from you, but they know that you're not going for, hey, I just want something temporary. I just want to honestly have a relationship with no label. I just want you to play wife and play house, but I don't really want to work towards having anything long-term and secure, no marriage. They know you're not going for that. So what they got to do? They got to leverage your optimism. They got to manipulate. They got to lie. They got to pretend. And the game is changing. They're getting a lot better. Now that we have a lot of conversation on what you guys want, what you guys are into, et cetera, there are a lot of guys who are crafting their game according to what they're getting from a lot of the conversation around relationships. And they leverage any blurred line situation in order to make that the crevice that they get into your life and siphon out from you all of your benefit, all of your fruits without reciprocating that in some shape, form, or fashion. So that brings us here, where now you got somebody, if you don't have a big brother or big cousin, male cousin in your life that has some level of competence on interpersonal relationships, well, you got one here. That's why I do what I do. As a man, we're supposed to be problem solvers. If you see a problem and I see these problems, we're supposed to do our part to try and solve it. This is free game for you. Put your money away. Here are the reasons why a guy will keep you. As a matter of fact, I would say this. Here are the signs that a man is keeping you as just an option. The first sign is going to be whenever he gives you this sob story in the very beginning about something he did in the past and now he's doing it different. You see, the sob story does this. It sets you up emotionally. It gets you involved. It gets you invested. It gives you a framework of him at one point in time trying to do the right thing, but then ending up with less than desirable circumstances. And now this is his response. Why is this so effective most times? Because you got your own story. You got your own situation where you thought something was a certain way. You were going to do something a certain way, but you learned the hard way. And now you're responding. So in that way, they're able to mirror your conviction or what changed you or what your pivot was in order to do something better. They're able to mirror that. So now you can relate. You know, I tried to be married once and she just took me for all my money and she took the kids and she did that. So this time I'm making sure that I take my time and I'm patient. Whole time, that's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. They just leverage that as an end. I'm going to tell you what to do against it. Because as a woman, it's probably difficult for you to know, like, well, how do I navigate that? How do I know when he's telling the truth versus whenever he's not? It's not whether or not he's telling the truth. What is he doing about it? Because what you'll have in this situation is a lot of guys who got somebody else, they're already wasting time. Y'all think whenever a man comes to waste your time, you the only one time that he wasting? No, you're not. He has 2 or 3 other women whose time he already been wasting. He's adding you to the mix. Because just like in a company, a low-paying company, there's turnover, constant turnover at McDonald's and Wendy's and that kind of thing. There's constant turnover in a man's life who's wasting the time of other women. Eventually, you're going to get tired of it. Eventually, those women are going to get tired of it. And he's not going to be able to get any more usage out of them. So he's constantly bringing more people in. Now, how does this all tie together? Gives you the sob story. Tells you that he's patient. Most times as a woman, you're going to find that more compelling and more attractive that he's so patient and other men aren't. No, he's not patient. He's just using them while you get warmed up until you're ready to get your time wasted. And whenever you get finally invested and you're all in and you're giving all your energy and you got this soul tie connected, even if y'all haven't had sex yet, you can get a soul tie, by the way. but you're enjoying him. You have these plans moving because you're the type of woman who honestly, you don't give this version of you, you don't give this much of you unless there is some long-term potential. Now you move in and you taking somebody else's place who either get tired of him or he go and discard them. What to do about it? You predetermine your boundaries. When you give all of these things to a man, not to say, oh, hold off everything. No. But it should be conditional. It should be contingent on an upward trajectory. And that pace has to be compatible. So many times we just assess, oh, is this person compatible in terms of their personality? And do they make me laugh? No, is the pace compatible? Is this man moving at a pace that works for you? If you go to a company and they say, oh, we'll promote you in 30 years, that's not going to work for you. It's a great company though, right? It pays good. The promotion is very appetizing, but is that going to work for you? No, the pace doesn't work. Hold on, wait. That timeline don't match up with my timeline, depending on what age you are, by the way. Because if you're dating at age 50, it's completely different than dating at age 21. But you have to already predetermine your boundary, what a clear vision for you looks like. It's not about being unrealistic. It's not about being rigid. It's about being intentional. And there's so many men who will leverage this whole patient play, the patient card, to really just waste your time. Which brings me to the next sign. And I'll combine these two as a matter of fact, that a guy is wasting your time. Because it is age specific. Again, a man at age 21 is in a completely different season of his life. So if he's saying at 21, I need 5 years, I need 7 years, that makes sense. Let me tell you something. A man over the age of 30 doesn't need more than 3 months to know whether or not he wants to lock it down. He doesn't need more. The only exceptions will be if he ain't got his money right. And I'm talking about, by the way, I'm talking about a monogamous relationship. There's no reason why you should be dating a guy over the age of 30 more than 3 months without a relationship title if that's something you presented you are interested in. Because the relationship is basically marriage practice. You guys are going to see if your conflict resolution skills line up. You guys are going to see how you can go through the ups and downs of just a romantic relationship before you make it family, legacy, and legal. I get that. 3 months or less. There should be, I mean, honestly, I'm stretching it. 3 months. And if he's over the age of 40, it shouldn't be no more than 30 days. You dating a grown man over the age of 40 more than 30 days, and he's still talking about he's not sure if he's ready to be monogamous, you are wasting your time. It's not him wasting it anymore. You're handing it to him to shoot down the toilet. I'm gonna keep it real with you. If you're dating a man over the age of 40, no more than 30 days. Before he at least makes it monogamous, before he knows for a fact he ain't got to open that door. Now, what am I talking about when I'm saying monogamy? Why is monogamy so important? And I've been on both sides of this fence. I'm going to tell you something. When it comes to dating, a man, especially if he's purpose-driven, he's trying to achieve something in his life, he has a certain allocation of romantic energy he can invest. There's the purpose energy, there's the family energy, there's the physical health energy, spiritual energy. He has these different facets of his life because we're compartmental in our thinking. We don't just level up across the board like y'all. We have different areas of our life that we give a different amount of energy and allocation of investment into so we can be better. Okay, so romantic energy, romantic fulfillment, there's a certain amount. If he's purpose driven, it's going to be about 20, maybe 30%. Maybe 30% in the beginning. As you guys get into marriage, maybe 30 to 40%. But if he is dividing that little slice of pie between you and any other woman, he's not serious about you. After 30 days, he's already had enough data to determine whether or not you are the one he wants to be serious about. Anything other than that, he is keeping you as an option. Am I making sense to anybody? Y'all let me know. Am I making sense to anybody? Again, this is age specific. 21, he might need 6 months to a year at 21. Most times, the 21-year-olds are the ones that jump into a relationship anyway because they don't know no better. But 30 and up, 3 months or less. 40 and up, 30 days or less. He should have already established at age 40 plus a certain level of awareness of himself, what he wants, what he doesn't want, what works for him, what doesn't work for him. He should already be in a certain season of what he's trying to accomplish, where ain't no time for just frivolously dating or having sex all over the place and having dates all over the place with different women, starting different journeys with different women. And I'm going to tell you one of the drawbacks, because I get it. As a man and we're single, we get to do whatever we want. No, we should be preparing for what we want if we are purpose driven. And the longer that he goes dating multiple, and the same thing goes for you, ladies. The longer, especially though, that a man goes, and I'll tell you what the difference is, because it's not that y'all are perfect. We're just wired differently. But the longer that man goes dating multiple women, the harder it's going to be for him to cut those other women off if he finally decides he wants to strictly be with you and focus on you. So he goes 6 months dating 4 of y'all. You his favorite one, you his number one priority. Well, he got a 6-month relationship with those women. However you want to flip it, that's 6 months of conversation, 6 months of dates, 6 months of each other revealing things to each other, laughing together. And he's going to have to say bye to all of that with all of those women. And if he does, what do you think is going to happen after he cuts that off cold turkey to strictly be with you? Resentment, because those women were a part of his life for 6 months. Grief, he's just going to be sad. You don't even know what he's sad about, but he's going to take it out on you. Expectations that you can't fulfill because he was building this foundation with you according to how you fit into his routine, his rotation with the rest. He don't even know how he feel about you. He just know how he felt about all of his romantic investment going into multiple women. I know that hurts to hear. Again, I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you the truth so you can do with the information what you will. Hopefully you'll use this to protect yourself and give yourself the advantage in dating. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to give you that. Free game, by the way. So with that being said, you can't even count on this man after 30 days, especially if he's dating other women, even entertaining, open to other women. You can't count on him even having a sober perspective of what you bring to the table and how you integrate into his life. Because when you date multiple people, especially, again, over the age of 40, 30 days or more, when you get upset with him and y'all ain't on good talking terms, guess what he's doing? When you're on your period, when you're out of town and y'all can't have that physical touch that y'all like to have, guess what he's doing? For all of the ways that you flawed, you're a woman, you're flawed, you have flaws, you have shortcomings in any of those areas, and it's time for him to be gracious or patient with you or find out how to support you as you improve in those areas, which is very uncomfortable for anybody. Guess what he's going to do instead when somebody else and 2 or 3 other people over here have that as a strength? So it's not that he doesn't, he's a bad person or whatever. He don't even have a correct assessment within himself. Now, why is it different for a woman? Even though I don't believe in seriously dating multiple, here's the thing about you as a woman, and you tell me if I'm wrong. As you invest in a man, as you get serious about a man, everybody else starts to fall off naturally. You ain't got to try. You don't have to eventually make this hard cut. If you really like a guy, you're really opening yourself up to a man, you're getting invested, the other men just become blurred noise, like they don't exist. Even if you have not made it definitive, they're not getting any more investment from you. You can't do, you are all, we're a la carte. You guys are full package in how you love. We're compartmental. That's why you hear men say, oh, I can have sex with her and still love you. And that's the truth. Don't mean that the love is safe to receive, but it's the truth. We can separate this from that, from this. Y'all don't. You're intuitive. That binds everything together. That's why we complement each other. Y'all are the glue. You've never heard of a family being glued together by the granddaddy. There's some good granddaddies out there, but you've always heard the glue of the family being the woman, the grandmother, the matriarch. Y'all are the glue. Y'all come full packaged. And so what I'm giving you here is the perspective of a man that knows if she could just spend enough time investing in me, especially if she like what she's getting, those other guys are going to fall off, and I'm going to get undue, unwarranted, unearned loyalty from her, even without giving her security in what she's placing her heart into. Am I making sense to anybody? Because some of y'all not going to feel me, and then it's going to be somebody out there that this message is for. If you've gotten anything of value from what I've said just so far, we ain't even really got started, by the way. Matter of fact, if you've gotten value, hit the share button so you can bless somebody else on your timeline. Hit the share button if you've gotten anything of value so far. We just getting started. But this is why God will keep you as an option. There's a game. I have little bullet points I want to get to, but shoot, we're just gonna go now. There's this game that guys are playing. I don't think it's brand new, but I've seen it a lot more prevalent lately. And that's where a guy wants to have multiple loyal women. Not multiple chicks, not multiple just sex partners, not multiple situations, but it is a situationship for you. But what he wants to have is multiple loyal women because most men know that, again, what I just said is true. Ask any man that you know that you trust and ask him, like, yeah, have you ever talked to a girl more than 3 months? She really was into you, but she was able to keep doors open to everybody else. They're gonna tell you, nah, she liked me for three, 6, 4 months. Oh man, I know I got her. Especially if there's been some sex involved. And this is where you'll have a guy do relationship things without making it a relationship because he knows he's going to get that from you if you could just stick around long enough. He's going to get that from you. And so that's what a lot of guys are trying to establish. How do I get multiple women, not just to have sex with, but to be loyal to me, to be submissive to me, to cook for me, to be my safe space whenever something bad happens, to give me some money if I'm ever short on some bread, to rub my back, to fold my clothes? How do I get multiple women to do that? And of course, that creates a situation as a woman where you're not safe, you're not secure, you're headed for, you're basically a crash dummy at some point. You enjoy the ride, but not only is there no seatbelt, there's no brakes. You're going fast, 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 and eventually you're hitting a wall because you're giving your all to somebody, and that lack of reciprocity is going to catch up to you, whether you like it or not. And it's so hard. Like I said, at the end of my master classes, my free master classes, I give an opportunity for a select few to join my inner circle. And the young lady that was in my inner circle asked me about this. It's never fun to hear because by the time you even get here, a lot of y'all, you already deep in it. You just trying to figure out, how do I make this work? I'm here to tell you, there is no making it work with this particular guy. There's no making it work. If you've gotten so far, you 6 months in, you a year in, you 5 years in, 2 years in with this guy, and he's still keeping you as an option, it is over. Now, what you can do is you can practice resilience, you can get the tools to heal, and now you can be more awake to the games that a lot of men play, and you can prevent this from ever happening again. But let's talk about the signs a little bit more. I'm gonna just tell you, this is one of, I don't even know what I would call this, but this is what's also going to take place in the situation where the guy is keeping you as an option. And this is when he knows he's got him a good one. Whenever he deflates you, disappoints you, as you have the courage to bring up where you guys are headed, what are you guys doing? What does he really want? And he can deflate you and disappoint you and still get access to you. That's whenever a guy says, I got her. That's why I said you got to make a contingent on the trajectory. I'm not here to say don't do nothing with this man that's vulnerable and affectionate until he puts a ring on your finger. I am saying if you're going to do that, if that's just the way you want to open up, open up. But the moment he makes it clear to you, whether in his actions or his words, that y'all are not going where you thought y'all were going in the timeline that you know that you need to be able to get there in order for you to be fulfilled, it need to be cut off. Because the moment he says, oh, she's still giving me access to what I like, the food, the body, the availability of time, and one of the best benefits of a man in this situation is his ego gets protected. Because you're so hooked on him, because you don't like to start over, because you're not for everybody, he gets the safety, he gets the peace of mind knowing you're not gonna give yourself to nobody else. Even though he don't want a relationship with you, he still don't want nobody else to have you. And you still protecting his ego. Again, this is one of the reasons why he will practice that manipulation to deal with you, as opposed to women who are honestly on that. There's so many girls who would just give him vagina, or even just, hey, I'll act like a girl. I'll act like your girlfriend. I act like your wife, and I don't need no label. There are plenty of women out there, but they won't protect his ego. Those women are so marked up and scarred up on their spirit. They're not like the rest of you who, hey, once you like one guy, blinders on. They can go from person to person, multiple in a day at one time. That's just what they on. Yes, I am judging because it is what it is. I ain't saying they bad, but that's just what it is. But the thing about y'all that separates you, you protect the man's ego because you ain't for everybody. The only difference is you shouldn't start being for everybody. You should just no longer be for him. He playing those games, you should no longer be for him either because he's everybody. Now, another sign that this guy is keeping you as an option on purpose, there is no plan or strategy or upward trajectory for you guys' relationship. If he's inconsistent with his communication, if he's inconsistent or even unpredictable with his investment, his communication, his availability, if any type of, hey, this thing looks like this, it's not looking like this, it's looking like this. And I'm not talking about y'all having good times and bad times. I'm not talking about sometimes y'all get into it and you got to talk it through. You got to be patient with it. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in your certainty of where you guys are headed, how important you are to him, where you stand in his life. If it's like this, if one day it feels like you are the apple of his eye and the next day it feels like you're the rotten apple on the ground, then look, that's a sign he's keeping you as an option. Why do I say that? Especially knowing that in any relationship, there's going to be some level of clashing, some friction as you guys grow together. Because when a man notices that that's where your experience is, and you voice that to him, he's going to do everything he can to remove that doubt if he's serious about you, if he's serious about what he wants with you. If you even say, "I'm not sure," are you upset with me? Do you still want to do this? Do you still like me? Are we working on something here? The moment that he hears that, it's almost offensive to the man that cares about you and wants something real with you long term. When that man notices doubt, again, nothing that I'm saying is painting this picture of all men. There are two types of men, because all men are created equal, but all men do not move equally. There are men who are of honor, and there are men who are of convenience and whatever serves them. There are men of honor, and it takes evolution to get to that point, because most of us, myself included, have been on both sides of the fence. And you have to find out the hard way. It ain't nothing really there for you in dealing in that place of just being of convenience and selfishness. That's another conversation. But there are men of honor. And that man of honor, if he's serious about you, when he's serious about you, because he's not even gonna entertain you past a certain point if he knows he can't be serious about you, because that's how much an evolved man values his time. But when that man's serious about you and he notices a doubt, what? No. We stopping everything to talk about this. And we're gonna get clear on what's gonna prevent you from having any doubt about my intentions for us going forward. I'm not saying you snap your fingers and Evolve ain't gonna do whatever you say, but according to his own strategy, his own purpose, his own intentions for his investment into you, he's gonna remove anything that could jeopardize that. Doubt is one of the biggest ones, being that the number one emotional need for a woman is security. On every level. Correct me if I'm wrong. You can't be the woman that you know you're capable of being if there's no security. And I'm including financial security. That's why some of y'all go so hard, you damn near work yourself to death. Y'all go so hard, you stretch thin, because you must have security. If it's going to be from a man or from yourself, there must be security in the situation. So if that man is allowing doubt and uncertainty to remain in a relationship, and you don't see a vigilance, you don't see a conviction behind him dealing with that directly, confronting that directly with communication, with consistency, with accountability, that man is not serious about you. He's keeping you as an option. You're just one of. And I'm okay with this in the first week, 2 weeks. You're just an option. That's fine. In the first week or two, the problem comes when you 3, 6, 9 months in, a year, 2 years in, you a baby in, you your heart in, you your credit score in, you done move this man into your house. Y'all having raw sex. Can we keep it real? I know it's midday. Can we keep it real though? And it goes without saying that he's definitely keeping you as an option if there's reluctance to commit or even talk long term or position the two of you long term. But again, I want you guys to couple everything that I'm saying with your own discernment and intuition. Okay? If that man is saying, "Oh, I'm not really sure about a relationship," or about a relationship, "I'm not really sure right now," and you see that he's still trying to do relationship things, long-term relationship things, even that's a problem. Don't deal with a guy who's trying to get in position for something long-term, but he won't make it long-term, even in terms of how you identify it. So many people say, "Oh, labels don't matter." Go to a grocery store and talk about labels don't matter. Go to a pharmacy and talk about labels don't matter. Labels matter. Labels matter. Now, of course, you have to honor that label, but labels matter. You go pick up just a bottle and drink it? No. You want to know if it's bleach or is it lemonade. When it comes to prescription medicine, do you just get a label? It don't matter what the label is. No, it matters. The label gives it identity. The identity gives it structure. The structure gives you security. Any man that's telling you labels don't matter, repeat that to him. The label gives it identity. The identity gives it structure. The structure gives you security. I'm giving y'all something. I'm just giving free game here because I'm your big brother and I love you. Labels don't matter. They do matter because I'm going to tell you when they really matter. When something comes up against what you need in order to feel protected and safe and secure in a relationship that may not be convenient for him, that's what he's going to reference. We ain't got no label. I mean, shit, you ain't my girl. So, I mean, we ain't even together. And I mean, all of a sudden, he will reference the label or lack thereof to validate why he did not show up for you the way that you clearly would show up for him or have already shown up for him. All that labelless dating after a certain point because you want to prove that you're not pushing too hard against, what he's been through and the sob story he gave you, and you're not like these other women that's pressed, and long as he treats you right, you good, and you just going along with, man, look, you setting yourself up. You setting yourself up. Which brings me to the next one. You're just an option if that man prioritizes his convenience over your needs. You come through for him. You stop what you're doing for him. You answer the phone. Sometimes you don't want to answer the phone. You stay listening to all his dreams and aspirations, even whenever you really would rather get some sleep. You stay up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, listen to that man ramble on and on and on about plans he got. And one day, if you wish upon a star, he going to get it done. You rub his back when you tired. You kind of feel a little tense in your shoulders, but you rub his back. You horny, but guess what? He ain't got the energy for sex, and you take care of him. You make all of these sacrifices for him on every level, but he only gets to you whenever it's convenient for him. When it's not going to require much of a sacrifice, it's not going to require any type of commitment. When it's something he got spare money, spare time, spare energy, he don't stop what he doing. He don't carve out and protect space for the two of you. He don't go on dates that require 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 hours of undivided attention. Everything is about convenience. That man is keeping you as an option. Keep it real with y'all. You're not going to leave this conversation the same way that you came. You're not going to leave this with the same perspective, naivete, ignorance, unawareness of your value. You're not going to leave this. Matter of fact, again, if you're getting any value from this, I need 10 people to hit the share button who want to bring somebody else into this, because we need this truth to spread. We're going to stop all of that. But that's how you know he's also keeping you as an option. Again, any vagueness, any gray area of what he wants for the long term, or if you feel like a backup, I'm going to go there with it, because a lot of times as men, we like to say this whole thing, well, feelings are not facts. And I agree. Feelings are not facts. There are times where you may feel something and it's affected by what you've been through in the past, or it's coming through a lens that was shaped by something you've been through in the past. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I was talking about this to my Self-Crown Inner Circle member, and she had got in at the end of my free masterclass, the 7 traps as an empath you must never ignore. And I was telling her this very thing. Like, look, there are times where your feelings, they can be tainted by this or affected by that. But if you've done the work before you even started entertaining a man, not that you perfect health, not that you 100% unaffected by anything you've been through, but you've done the work. You took some time to yourself, right? You had enough self-worth and enough strength to stay clear of anybody who was obviously showing you they weren't for you. And now you're entertaining this man who has at least putting up a facade, a front, or something like that. If it don't feel right, it probably ain't right. If it feels wrong, it's probably wrong. You may not know exactly what's going on, but that's your intuition able to get through to you and trying to tell you, hey, something ain't right. Because God will keep you from being at peace with a man that was never in God's plan for your future. He will keep you from being at peace with that man. So you will feel uncomfortable, and you won't even be able to explain why. And one of the discomforts whenever you're dealing with a man who's keeping you as an option is that you're going to, hold on, man, I'm feeling like a backup. I don't even have, you're going to feel like this. I don't even have the same confidence in asking him to do this, or confidence that I shouldn't even have to ask him to do anything. He knows this month is a tough month for me. He knows I just had to pay for some things for my babies, and I had to do this and I had to do that. And, things are a little tight, and I'm trying to find the next $500 to cover this right here. He knows that. Now I'm over here giving this man raw versions of my body. I'm over here answering the phone whenever he want me to. Drop of a hat, but I got to sit here and even come out my mouth and ask him to alleviate some stress that I'm dealing with. He got all this money and all this success and all of this grind, but he can't help me at all. You're going to feel like you're not a priority. You when it come, what's going on his phone? You don't even feel confident in asking him, who is that? Every time you get around me, you keep on moving the phone. All of a sudden, you left-handed. he beside you. All of a sudden, he becomes left-handed when it's time to get to his DMs or his text messages. He get left-handed all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm giving y'all some game y'all don't even know. All of a sudden, dude get left-handed. He over here, he get left-handed all of a sudden. That phone all of a sudden shift right here. But you can't even ask about it with full confidence because you got to know your place as y'all not being in a relationship. Oh, you're gonna feel, even without being able to say for sure, for certain, this is a bad situation. You're gonna feel something. That's how you know you're likely an option. Again, why do I say this? Because as a man, even if we don't have this competence, like I've been doing this over a decade, thousands, at this point, tens of thousands of case studies, people that have joined my master classes, my inner circle, the whole nine. So yes, I have a different perspective than most men, the average man. However, innately, we know that a woman's number one need is safety and security. How do I know this? Why am I saying this? I can validate everything, and the receipts is your own experience. Because the first thing a dude wants to do when it comes to impressing you is showing you that he got bread. And in some way, if you think about even back in elementary and middle school, what was the way that we flexed? And knowing that we could fight or be tough or anything like that, because we know women like safety and security. Okay, so as we get older, that has not changed. It's only evolved to include emotional security. And no woman is emotionally secure if she feels like a backup or not being a priority. We're not dumb, ladies. We're not. I know you're like, oh, yeah, you are. No, I promise you. Even the guys who do dumb things are not dumb. We play dumb. We play dumb. And by playing dumb, we end up playing ourselves when we're in the presence of a real one. However, we're not dumb. We know y'all need security and safety. So when we see and we're aware of things that are making you uncomfortable and we do nothing about it, it is a direct indication of how important you are to us, how serious we are about you and what we could have with you. Make no mistake about it. There are some things that are not so black and white. This is black and white right here. We know that you're uncomfortable. We know that you're stressed. We know that you need more energy. Time, not spare time. We know that. We know that you need more backing. In this time of your life, maybe you do need a little financial help. How dare that man be able to tap you at 2:30 in the morning and ask you for some head, but you can't say, hey, I need $100. I need $200. It's not no paying for the vagina, nothing like that. No, I need you to help me with some stress I'm dealing with. But he want to leave you stranded in your hard times. You need to learn how to leave a man stranded with his hard penis. And I know I'm getting vulgar, but I don't care because ain't nobody else going to say it. So I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. And you leading with your heart. You see, this is the thing. I was telling my inner circle member this exact same thing. I feel like it's almost a repeat. But so many of y'all are wife material, but you're not in wife position. You're wife material. Y'all think that because these people that's online, everybody got a podcast nowadays. Y'all think that the problem is your character. Y'all think the problem is your personality. Y'all think you got to gain weight, lose weight, be a dress size. It's your baby that. No. So many wife material women are not in wife position. What do I mean by that? It means you got everything it takes to be a man's vision board. You got it. You're not perfect. You got your flaws. You can improve in some areas. You can work on that little attitude that you get every now and then. You're not perfect. However, you are absolutely a man's dream woman who is ready for you, except you're not ready for him in terms of your positioning. And the readiness comes from what you've been through in the past that you never healed from. It comes from not knowing where to position yourself, even just physically in terms of proximity to men who are generally looking for something long term. But I'm going to tell you something, especially for those of you who are empaths, most of you are out of position for your blessing because you're still stuck in the trap. Or you're on the way to getting stuck in another trap. And what do I mean by trap? I already did a full conversation on that, so I'm not going to go in depth here. But I did a free masterclass. And I only do these a couple of times a year. If you want this one before it comes down, get access at the link down in the comments. I think if you're on YouTube, it's at the top. Wherever you're at, just look, there should be some directions to get a hold of a link. 7 traps an empath must never ignore, because these are the traps that will separate you from your blessing. These are the traps that will have you missing out on what God had destined for you, because God can only send it your way. He can't make you be in position to receive it. That's how that works. Oh, God, when he ready to bless me, no, God been blessing you. God been sending blessings to you. You were caught up with such and such. You were still reeling from and down from whenever you got knocked down by such and such that you should have never gave your heart to. You were still ignorant to the games that such and such as were going to be out here playing. So you were out here getting played by them. You were out of position. A lot of times God didn't send that blessing. And he got more coming your way because he's so gracious. He's still going to bless you. But you got to do your part to get in position. And so many of y'all are not in position. It's not because your character or your personality or your physicality. It's strictly because you're still stuck in a trap or you're headed towards a trap and you don't even know it. And as an empath, there are 7 that you absolutely must avoid at all costs. Again, I went in on that for an hour. Y'all think this conversation was something? Ain't got nothing on how I broke that down. It is at the link. Somebody just asked about it. The new free masterclass. If you see those words, 7 traps empaths should never ignore, click that link, register, come on back. And it's absolutely free, by the way. But moral of the story is this. There's no reason as a woman you should be treating this man as your priority, your one and only, trying to prove to him that he should be doing the same for you. No, we are the establishers. We're the masculine. How you want a man to be a leader in your life, but you won't let him lead in terms of creating safety and security so then he can get your loyalty. As a woman, as my sister, I say this with love. I know it's with some conviction because I think this problem is so preventable. There are things in a relationship or a marriage that's going to come up against you that's going to knock you off your feet and you could have never seen it coming, and it's going to take everything for you to overcome that. I get that. I've been there myself. But there are some things you can avoid. And you can avoid a man who's showing you that you are just an option, that he's so infatuated with his options, he can never settle on a choice. And I ain't saying it's always going to feel good. At times it's going to feel lonely. At times it's going to feel cold. At times it's going to feel a little fearful, a little doubtful. But it's much better to have that spot in your bed empty than to have the wrong spirit laying in it. But those are just my thoughts. I'm your internet big brother, trying to look out per usual. So if you did get something of value from this, if this was in any way truthful for you, helpful to you, eye-opening for you, all I ask is that you hit that share button so you can spread it to somebody else. Pay it forward. That's it. That'd be your good deed for the day. More blessings come your way when you bless others. Hit that share button. Let somebody else get a hold of this truth the same way you did so they can get blessed too. And if you are an empath, and if you have not gotten a hold of my masterclass, the 7 traps an empath should never ignore, do yourself a favor. Get access to that now. It's another almost hour of free game. It's all yours. Hope this helps. I'll let y'all be good. Peace.